There's no music volume now. WAB duct control, okay. So I have to play on my computer. Well, means I gotta maneuver some stuff. The end is never the end. The end is loading, nay. Is never the end. End is never the end, is never loading, never. Know nothing about this game. Well, I know some stuff, but I never played it. I watched some of it, but you know. Yeah, no.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Stanley's happy.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'm going on the right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all. just to spend, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Do not jump from the cargo lift while in motion. It will cause death. Penalty for misuse. Cargo lift 1,000. Penalty for jumping off cargo 5 grand. Okay. Looks like it's the only choice I got.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
Can you die?
Stop trying to make every decision by yourself. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
The blue door right here. Why would I go
ahead,
through?
Stanley? You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
Well, I do know I gotta choose between a baby dying or
there's nothing here.
Baby not dying.
I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you?
Wall 128.
Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback.
All right.
There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Okay. Curiosity has gotten the best of me.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Oh, of course. A 3. Really? Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know? Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings? Does that sound good? Think we can do that? Yes? Wonderful. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
All right. What do we have here?
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
I didn't even see a leaderboard.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right.
A lot of fire.
If he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours.
Yeah,
so why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep
No.
notes on your experience.
Gonna see what it does. Here, I'm gonna mute this real quick. I gotta see what it does. I give up.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me?
So I don't have 4 hours.
I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see.
Okay, what do we got?
What do we have here?
Fortnite, Minecraft, Call of Duty.
Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
What other game we joining? Roblox, Minecraft.
Well, Stanley, is this any better?
No,
At last,
'cause
the
I
one
can't
thing
get
you've
out.
always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with.
I can't get
But
out.
is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough?
You can't
When I
jump,
say
seriously.
this,
We
I'm done
disabled it.
making things up to you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house. This will go here. No, here. And then... Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley.
Great.
Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. Ah, but you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable. Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes, yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
I don't want to go. Okay.
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
Nope.
Oh, no, 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 no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear.
Well,
something that makes
I
you
can't
feel
jump
utterly
up.
irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
New game. What are we playing now? Roblox, Fortnite, not Minecraft.
Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love it. You, trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Oh, okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
No idea. toilet. What do I do? Oh. Okay.
Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte.
Ain't that hard. I know what the game this is.
Genius.
Forgot the name of it, but I know what game
No,
it is.
actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games. And I highly doubt you're...
Oh. What happens if I walk off? Alright. I see light. .427 back in my office. Where is this not where I gotta be? Oh. Okay. Alright.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon.
Okay.
I can wait.
It's just a black screen. Can we move on? Is this meant to trigger people? End is never end, is never end, is never end, is never end. Okay, back in my office, and apparently I gotta start over.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Fine.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of
Tips for not getting
disbelief,
fired.
Stanley
Talk about
decided to go
meeting
up to
room.
his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Boss, we need to talk.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. he stepped into the newly opened passageway.
And we go down. And it gets dark.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door
Mind
that read
control
Mind Control Facility.
Escape. I'm out of here.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Okay.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
I know.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Why not? You only live once. Then they're gonna start me over, right? Welcome back, Stanley. You learned your lesson.
As the machine
roller
whirled into
coaster.
motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plugging the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Goodbye.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
I didn't die. The Stanley Parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
So is this every time I disobey?
When every path you can walk has been created for you
you have
long
to
in
go back.
advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
The passage from Stanley out to the two doors. Part of the game that was built, sections have been added, altered to development through the core layout remains almost identical first iteration. Alright, yeah, you leave his desk, go all the way down. And come to the two doors. Corridor. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in a good time. The two doors. Set of two doors was the very first concrete piece of Stanley ever designed. Once the room was created, the rest of the game emerged an extension of exploration and contradiction room pose. Button sounds. A selection of sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mixed keyboard strokes and synthesizer tone. Credits. Filing cabinets. Okay. Stanley's computer. Nature paintings. Okay. Oh, what are these? The office. And office computers. Playing the games. Office. Early in the battle, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action would be sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting the build that it was far too jokey on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpret it as making fun of people who like shooters, which is not our intention. Okay. Okay. Green light. Yeah, submitted standard of green light. Valves process, proven game state. A series of cryptic photos were still enough to limit commentary pool. It's like the story behind the whole game. Early version of Lounge. Like, these are just weird things, the office. Narrator email. A second trailer was sent out. We asked people to email narrator question. Alright, development of his office. Game design mock-up. This is the level that William, the level designer, sent David, the writer, as a kind of audition piece. Signal was this level got William hired to design a full game. The environment has changed based on our still in the game. Early version of countdown room. For a time, the elevator in the monitor room could go up and down with freedom above the countdown below. We abandoned this when players found two difficult to remember what was up, what was down, and placed two endings together instead. There's a freedom ending as existed in beta. Countdown with a death from the early version of countdown ending. The Zendig went through many iterations to revise the fourth version ending and through the complete design. Okay, so I haven't gotten to the ending or anything. Zending levers. These levers were going to be part of the Zending. The player would pull a lever and there would describe what colors they had to pull on. Screenshot depicts every version of the ending known as Zending, which is eventually cut and merged into another part of the game. So there's an actual ending to this. Escape menu. For a long time we had an ending that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately, we realized that very few players realized this is what they're supposed to do, which was frustrating for everyone. The game is now paused. Begin the game again, resume the game after the game. All these computers, come on. Freedom ending. This is the very first incarnation of the freedom ending the game in the game's alpha. Screens from the development boss's office. Oh, okay. Cool. Office clock. Okay. Oh, got a room over here. What we got here? Office furniture. Uh-huh. Underground, early version underground Fortress game. Narrated outtakes. Kevin Bryant voiced the narrator, recorded dialogue in the entire game roughly 3 separate times over 2-year development. These are clips from early takes. We're not used to fucking.
All his button pushing. Does that sound plausible to you?
Okay. It's time to get back to the game. We got the little history. We're good. We're good. Back to Stanley Parable.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another.
Nope, here's the buttons.
How they both wish to be free. Can you see?
Nope.
Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not.
Can't see.
Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
Nope.
But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way.
Well, she told me I had to quit, so I quit.
This is... All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an out. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
No. Not today.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense.
Why am I going in
as
circles?
Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations.
Like I'm going
For
in
example,
circles?
Why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all.
What the fuck? Can I get out of here?
I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared.
Oh,
it was
okay.
so
This is
much
cool.
fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he
Okay.
remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one.
Maybe I should just follow
He thought to
directions.
himself, I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment
Back to the
and my
beginning.
wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Are you? Are you though? And scene.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Sure did.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Huh?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She
Thought it was a
arose, got
Stanley
dressed,
parable,
gathered
not
her
the-
belongings, and walked to her place of work.
Uh-oh.
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting.
I
to
don't
think
even
this,
know what's real
and in a
anymore.
certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body.
Upstairs.
And then she turned and ran.
And back to the office we go. Right? Yep. Okay. So basically every
Wait,
time
Stanley thought to himself, am I sure that
every
the
time
orders
I
stopped coming
disobey,
in? How is that possible?
I'm gonna start
They
over.
never stopped. Surely I was mistaken. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to the
Yet there
boss's
was not a
office.
single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Not doing that again. We'll go up.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation.
No, I'm just standing
But his
here.
attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley could, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
I need to start following orders, or I'm gonna keep going through this 100,000 times. You know what? I'm gonna go through the game normal, and then I'm gonna come back and do the game complete opposite way. That's the plan now. I'm gonna do it in order, get to the end, and then
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
here we go.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible
That's a-
secret did
imagine
this
a
place
TV you can
hold?
watch in
Stanley
here.
thought
Why
to
aren't
himself.
those in order
Did
up
he
there?
have the strength
Why
to
aren't
find
those in
out?
order? Why are these? Like what? Big ass TVs too. Can't lie. Look at them. Big ass panels.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them,
There's mine.
eternally monitored in this place
there.
where freedom meant nothing.
Right from this desk, go 1, 2, 3, 4 up. That's my desk. There's repeats. Hold on. What was that? 427? Oh shit. Oh, I'm looking for my number. $427 right there. That is my office. That is indeed my office.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it.
Fired.
He couldn't accept it.
Fired.
His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. for he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Waiting for control. Mind control. Wait for me.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments
Well, tell me
until
what
the
I gotta
bomb
do then.
goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going. What all this means, I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are?
Press any keys.
A moment of solace before you're obliterated. All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
What are we trying to figure out?
Oh, dear me. What's the matter,
0521.
Stanley?
05, what?
Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
Right.
Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Happily ever after. The end is never the end. Come on. This is why you gotta follow orders, man.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I thought I was supposed to do that. I am not
Yet
trying.
there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yeah.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
Just open the door.
That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated,
thought I could just put the
Stanley
code in.
calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Been playing an hour and I haven't even gotten anywhere.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, and realized he simply had too much to live for. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Right there. 427. Anyways.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded.
I'm not touching
very
anything
place.
until he tells me
And as the
to.
cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For it would dismantle the control once and for all.
How? With the red button? Alright, we got numbers, but I don't know what to do with them. Do I gotta hit the off button on it? Because there's no other buttons I can hit. I can't hit the start button because that ain't gonna do nothing. See, wait, there's 1, 2, 4, 5. I don't know where 3 is. Alright, there's an off button. There's an off and on.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Well, I mean, there's only 2 choices, 50-50.
Blackness and a rising chill of
Oh, I
uncertainty.
see light right there.
Was it over?
I see that.
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel.
Alright, we did it.
Whatever life he lives, it will be his.
We did it,
That
boys.
was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing.
We
Stanley
did it, boy.
stepped through the open door.
Yeah, we won. Boing.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin.
Ain't a real
feeling
ending,
of
though.
liberation.
I'm not even
Immense
touching the
possibility of
controls
the
right
new
now.
path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
And then he woke up. Complete the Stanley Parable. Beat the game. No way I beat the game. How did I beat the game in just an hour? It would have taken 10 minutes if I went right through it.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes.
Beautiful.
This room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
No.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Let's see, we went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Okay. Well,
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to,
Oh, there's a
Who am
distance.
I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
I'm not following directions.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Well, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
So I gotta pick a direction, huh? So either way I pick could be right, could be wrong. Only way to know is... Oh, God. Oh, there's a whole lot of doors. Okay.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you
Every door
there
is open.
definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Well, I just came back. Alright, take 17.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah, door open over there. 420. And now there's no doors.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Are you the boss?
Aha! I knew we'd miss it. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Yep, it's different.
Now this...
It's getting
Well, I'll
worse.
be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
Sweet.
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win.
Nope.
Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations.
So you gotta open that door.
I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time, I have to restart. All right,
Stanley
I've got a
Adventure
solution.
Line.
This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that? You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
7, 6, 38. Okay.
Wait, cut the music. Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Oh boy. I'm taking a picture. Okay.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
No, we haven't gone out here yet. Hey, we're back.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Okay.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
What direction? This direction.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be?
What the?
Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Well, it is following the same path that I'm walking. And it left.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits. Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall.
8 restart.
Well,
Memory's
you
gone.
consulted
After
me.
a long time,
Why
Stanley
don't I
died.
get to decide? Why don't I saying all of this?
7. There's
Is
no
it
longer
really-
an office, simply black
No,
space.
it can't
Wonder
be.
blackness, find a
I
bookstore,
don't want
get
it to
bored
be.
and leave. Narrate,
I don't want the
restart
game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's
Find the
going
fine
on.
line again, begin
I don't want to be
smiling
trapped like
line.
this. I
Find
won't
the vigorous
restart the
record
game. I
office,
won't
begin the
do it.
regular
I
template,
won't
sorry,
do it.
upgrade,
I
restart.
won't do it.
Stanley since latest game.
And the timer stopped.
Unable to go anywhere or do
Does that
anything, it
mean-
restarts on its own.
Did we do it? Did we break the
Adventure line,
cycle?
lessons,
The,
flash music,
whatever it
turn
is
off
that made this
enter
schedule.
and explore
How would
territory,
we
find a
even
line
know?
again, find the
Will someone
fusion
come
ending
first?
schedule, narrator
something
restarts
happen?
the game, 5th restart, never forgets about previous restarts.
So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
Game restarts.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
Shit. Jesus, there was no thing. Oh wait, was this already? I didn't even have to do that. Narrator ain't even narrating no more. Basically, I already know the path, so instead of narrating it, you should...
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place.
I should have looked for the
where
camera.
freedom meant nothing.
I'm sure I'll go back again, so I'll look for the camera.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason
Maybe.
he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
Goodbye. It's dark. Then all comes to light. Ugh.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know.
There it is.
It was perhaps
Perfectly
the
level
only
with the
thing worth
screen.
knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him.
Wait, this is the
This
ending.
was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
No camera. Are you kidding me? Like, I have no other place I can go.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yep.
The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Oh yeah, I jumped off this, so
Look, Stanley, I
didn't
think
go
perhaps
that
we've
way.
gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, Stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her.
Hello?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Good morning, employee version. Press P on your keyboard.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's
Can you save? No.
chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands.
Get out of my way.
It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work
You're in
was a
my
reminder
way.
that none of it would ever happen to him.
I want to use the microwave. Press 8 to watch TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his
no
own
TV.
job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his
I'd better
desk
get out
to
of bed and
realize
go to
that all
sleep.
of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Speed, spend time with the boy.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy
God,
world,
turning into
he
an
began to fill
office.
it with many possible paths and destinations.
It is
Down one path lay
427.
an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls.
so this is
Down
my
another was a
desk.
yellow
This is
line that
behind.
weaved in many directions.
This means I
Down
should be able to
another was
go
a
this
game with a
way.
baby, and he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets.
That gets
The more he
boring. I wouldn't
forgets
want to
which
do that.
life is the real one.
J, P, Q.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Alright, I'm not gonna push it. Press U to be at work in the morning. o'clock. So I'm not doing anything. Come on. So you're gonna make me do it. I'm getting hungry. I don't want to wait.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Hello. This is kind of boring. What am I doing? How do I look at myself? What am I supposed to be doing? I'm stuck in a room. I can't do anything. What the hell? I don't know what the fuck's going on. Am I missing something? You said take a look at yourself. I have no idea. Can't jump. I can crouch. Can't unlock the door. Can't interact with anything. Nothing. What the fuck am I supposed to do? Oh, what the hell? Saves. Yeah, I want to save. This is achievement. Achievement. This is achievement. Good thing. I can save. Why isn't that just an automatic feature? I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I hit every button. Well, every number and letter. I don't know. I'm dumb. Wait, what?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first.
Alright, that one there. I done with that.